We will burn our own country to the ground. Then we will hop on a boat with kids and wives. I'll cross the sea, come to your country renowned. That's where we'll make our hives. We won't respect your rights, won't leave our cultural baggage. More like us will come in days and nights, and together we'll inflict some serious damage. We'll ask for money, we'll ask for food, ask for meds and shelter. You fools will be bound to do good. In time our fury will make you swelter. Not the perfect poem, but still a decent description of EU's fascination with accepting more and more immigrants. A move that now threatens to end the European Union as we know it. And welcome. This is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. And I'm your host Atul Mishra. In this video, I will tell you about East and West Europe's clash over the critical question of immigration. Let's begin. Central and Eastern European nations have now risen in protest against the EU's lax immigration policies. They have in fact given an ultimatum to the Brussels-based intergovernmental bloc: stop migration from conflict-ridden Muslim nations or face the threat of disintegration. The comments against immigration were made in a joint statement by the leaders of the Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, Serbia, and Slovenia during the Budapest Demographic Summit. Except Serbia, all the countries which joined the Budapest Demographic Summit are EU members, which speaks volumes of how the bold remarks made at the summit are actually a message to Brussels. The leaders of the 6 Eastern and Central European nations attending the Budapest Demographic Summit were quite clear about one thing: bolstering immigration is an answer to European Union's declining population and birth rates. The joint statement read, "Increasing the number of European children is essential to preserving Europe's Christian culture and other religious traditions for future generations." It added, "Migration should not be seen as the main tool to tackle demographic challenges." Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban and the Czech Republic's Prime Minister Andrej Babis have to go to elections the coming months, and therefore they have been pushing a strong anti-immigration agenda to whip up favorable sentiment. Babis told the Budapest Demographic Summit that due to the influx of immigrants, the only sustainable solution against the extinction of Europe is to increase the birth rate. Apart from Hungary and Czech Republic, Poland is already known for its strong anti-immigration policy as against the general European tendency to encourage immigration from conflict-hit regions. Moreover, for Central and Eastern European nations, the concerns regarding immigration have escalated. Following the disastrous withdrawal of American and NATO troops from Afghanistan, Eastern and Central European nations fear that there will be a major influx of Afghan refugees into the European continent. Poland's Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki recently has argued against taking the additional burden of Afghan refugees on top of a massive number of African refugees seeking asylum in Europe. What Central and Eastern European nations are worried about is the changing identity and culture of Europe. There are two main factors at play. Firstly, the Western European powers that control the EU are pushing for lax immigration policies. And secondly, Europe's own population is on a rapid decline. In 2019, Europe's birth rate stood at 1.53 live births per woman, which is far below the 2.1 mark required to avert a population decline. In 2015, the EU recorded more deaths than births for the first time. Yet the EU's population still grew due to the influx of refugees and other immigrants from conflict-hit regions like Syria and Northern Africa. An official EU website corroborates such statistics about the decline of Europe's population. The website states, "In the EU as a whole, the composition of our households is changing. Households composed of 2 parents with children are being joined by households consisting of people living alone, single parents or couples without children." It adds, in 2018, the average number of childbirths per woman was 1.55 and their median age at childbirth was 31.3. The website has also predicted a rapid decline in European population. It states, "The share of Europe's population in the world is shrinking, and by 2070 it will account for just under 4% of the world's population." It may be noted that presently Europe accounts for around 9.78% of the world's total population. So we are practically looking at the extinction of Europe's original identity. What the EU website doesn't seem to have considered is the increasing threat of destabilization in sensitive regions like the Middle East or North Africa, which might trigger greater immigration into Europe. And ultimately, the European community might itself become a minority in Europe itself. So while Europe's own population is on the decline, the immigrants are fast filling in the shrinking population. The Central and Eastern European nations visualize this as a decline of the continent's Christian identity. And this is the main point of division between Eastern Europe and Western Europe. If Brussels doesn't rectify this issue immediately, we are practically looking at a total disintegration of the European Union.